Hi, my name is Vishnu Viswanathan, and I'm going to be doing a tutorial on HTML5. The purpose of HTML5, otherwise known as Hypertext Markup Language, is used to modify the appearance of a web page. With the usage of the header, footer, main, nav, and section tags, there is an abundance of changes that can be made to make the look and feel of your web page different. And the purpose of this presentation would also show you how to differentiate between the different kinds of tags, when to use it, and why is it helpful for computer programming. Header. This tag is used to show the heading of a web page. It will contain important information such as the title, and different types of headings are available. These range from H1 tag to the H6 tag. H1 is the highest priority, which means that it will be in the largest font and bold, while H6 is the lowest priority, which means that it will be the smallest font. And this will also all be located in the body element of the HTML. Here's an example of the header. So as you can see, here is the HTML file. The header is located within the body. There is a class name to the header too that can be referenced in CSS. The H1 tag is used to say HTML tutorial, which is also displayed here. And then the H2 is also used to say that the header will remain at the top of the web page, which is also, as you can see, bold but smaller because it is an H2 and not an H1. Footer. Similar in concept with the header. However, this is used at the bottom of the web page and will show footnotes about the web page. This can also contain information about the author, copyright, and etc. like that. And this is located also within the body tag of the document. Here's an example of the footer in action. As you can see, it is still bolded and is made useful to differentiate this on the bottom of the web page. And it's also using the footer, it also allows you to have the access to combine it with CSS, whether I wanted to make this, for example, italicized, different font color, different fonts in general. And as you can see, here's the footer, and here's how you would type it into HTML. Main. This specifies the main content of the document, and this will hold the majority of the document will be held within main, such as articles, sections, and other paragraph tags. Here's an example of me using the main tag. As you can see, I have headers within it. I also have a section, and I also additionally could have other tags within this that remain constant with main. Nav. Nav is used to provide navigation links. This could be links for documents, menus, indexes. A common way that we've been doing in class is to link other sheets such as JS, CSS, all to the HTML file. Here's an example of me encoding the nav tag. And as you can see, I have a link to the style sheet and a reference to the style sheet. So basically what this will be doing is will be allowing me to use CSS as a different sheet and link it to the HTML file using the nav tag. This reference to CSS will allow you to do all the types of modifications that CSS and styles lets you do, but rather have it within the HTML file. We can now have it as a separate file and keep it more organized and have it easier to edit in the future. Section. Section tags are used to group generic parts of a web page together. This could be used for when the web page must be divided up and allows for easier configuration with CSS with class names and IDs. Here's an example of using section. As you can see, the H2 class subtitle is put within the section tags, and this can be referenced also if you put a class onto the section. You can reference it in CSS and you can make modifications to it as well. Additionally, section is really important if you want to break up the different parts of your documents into something that's easier to manage and easier to understand to the user. Now, putting it all together. Here's a layout of the entire HTML file that I've previously been showing throughout this presentation, all together in one. And here's the final output. Some key takeaways would be that like the header, it is the boldest and top of the web page. And then this is where there will be normal writing outside of the header, as you can see as a reference, to be different. This is written in H1, which shows the highest priority. And then in the smaller font, you can see the comparison to H6. The section tags are also used right in this section of the document, which is also right here on the corresponding HTML. And finally, the footer is at the bottom, just like how it is on the HTML file. And this just sectioning up everything like this really makes it a lot easier to manage the HTML file, makes it easier to edit in the future, makes it easier for other users to read and understand your file, and makes it much easier to link with CSS and JavaScript. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and that is the HTML5 tutorial.